There's a fortification been on this site for a long time. In Roman days, this place was known as Pons Aelius. It would eventually become Novo Castria, the new castle, and that is the very thing, the new castle. And it's got a lot of amazing stories that run with it. You got to remember that during the siege of Newcastle, where everybody says, didn't we do well? No, actually we lost. The Scots won, and John Marley, who was governor of Newcastle at the time, managed to talk his way out of, well, if I surrender, will you let me and my family go? Okay, what about everybody else? Don't worry about them. I mean, the family sorted, and off he went, and named the school that I went to after him. Less than impressed. However, this turned into a prison in the 1400s, and it was known as one of the darkest and most gruesome places. You didn't want to be in this prison. Up to 30 people a cell, people were wedged in tight. It was a nasty and disgusting place. Now, I'll give you an example of just how unpleasant it was and how unpleasant some of the local politicians were at the time. Let's walk a little. Now, the alderman was out, and just over where the cobbles are, over yonder, where the cars are parked, where you can see, again, beautiful buildings wherever you look. Look at Turnbull's building. Isn't that just sensational? But on the cobbles over there used to be a flower cellar. An Irish girl had come over. She tried to make a living by going out into the country early in the morning, picking a range of flowers. She'd come, sit herself down there, and then all of the rich men, merchants going home to their wives and lovers could get a lovely bunch of fresh flowers. Well, there was a problem. This alderman went up asking for some flowers, wildflowers, beautiful, got a beautiful bunch, was just smelling them when a bee came out of the bunch of flowers and stung him on the face, leaving this enormous bleb. And he was appalled. He was going, not actually to meet his wife, but to meet another lady of his acquaintance, and he wanted to look his best, and his face was coming up. So he ordered that this girl, aged about 14, was arrested and taken into this building here. Look at it. It is as formidable as it looks. And back then, some of the cells were below ground, stinking up to your knees in waste, human waste, rats, lice, fleas. And the worst thing about it was she was in a cell with 23 men, and she was the only girl. Well, you can imagine what happened. Horrific. She was told that she had to stay there for 3 weeks because of what she'd done to this alderman. Can you imagine the glory of a train going by? How great is that? Right, I'm so glad I slipped that train driver that extra £5. But can you imagine how terrible it was? 3 weeks in a cell with 23 men who attacked her every day, and most of them because they were the worst of the worst. When she got to court, and the courtroom is Moot Hall that we've just left the car park of, she was too weak to speak, and she died in the arms of one of the court officials. What happened to the alderman? Nothing. What did the judge say? She should never have been sent to prison in the first place. It's an act of God if you get stung by a bee. How many other people who were relatively innocent suffered similar fates in that building?